Good morning. Just speaking on the subject of work, it was the first commandment that God gave to man. Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue the earth. And this was God's commandment to Adam and Eve. He made him to work and to have dominion over the earth. And it's part of who we are. It's part of what it is to be made in God's image, he himself had just created this heavens and the earth and this beautiful creation. And as he created, so he wants us to create and work. And then we read in Genesis 2, God rested from his labor that he had made and has asked us to rest in that. And the idea of the rest was, one, to enjoy the beautiful creation of God has made, but also to enjoy God himself. And maybe I don't want to go off the point, but I do want to say a little thing on that. The Pastor Shala shared in Nepal. God created, the world. Take anything. There's a cabinet there. A carpenter created that cabinet, and the carpenter is not the cabinet. He's separate from the cabinet. God created the world and the universe, but God is separate from it. He's not the cabinet. He's not the universe. He's not the world. He's different, and he's not in it. He is in it, but he's not entangled in it. He's apart from it. And the point is that, like, we get entangled in the world. We get, encumbered by the world. We get, all the pressures of the world are on us. We are in the whole mess of it. We're in the whole entanglement of it, good of it or the bad of it, whatever it is. We're in it, and there's no solution in it. Inside the whole mess, we cannot rearrange things and move it around to fit and make it work and to get us out of it. But we can come apart to God, who is not in the mess. He's apart from the creation. He's above the creation. He's beyond the creation. And we go to God himself, and we can come out and enjoy God. And then we come back into this world and into it replenished and refreshed and able to view it afresh and nourished. Because sometimes nothing in the world will nourish it, but we can come out to it. And this is, even when the disciple said, teach us to pray, he said, pray, our Father who art in heaven, holy is your name. He's in heaven. He's above, beyond the whole thing. And he's holy means separate. He's separated. Hallowed be thy name. He's separated from the whole thing. We come to God. We come apart from all that he has made, to God himself. And there alone, my soul thirsts for God. For God only will I come. As the deer pants for the water, so my soul longs for thee, O God. Not for answers to my problems, not for this or that, but for thee, O God, my soul thirsts for thee. So God gave us that Sabbath rest, and work out of that rest we do it. And work is good. It is honorable. It is honorable to all. God gave it to us, and he who does not provide for his own is worse than an infidel. We also work and provide for those that are weak. What is true religion but to take care of the vulnerable and the needy that are around us also? We work we need things for food, for our belly, clothes for our back, a roof for our head, and they are very essential needs for us. We must work for them. But also we have a soul, we have a spirit, and we must work for those things also. If we spend all our life to work for the clothes for our back, the roof for our head, the food for our belly, what about our soul? As Pastor Shala once was with a Russian taxi driver, and he says, what do you need? He says, I need bread. I need bread. That's what I need. And Pastor Shala says, I think you need bread for your head also. And we need bread for the head. And, this is what the Puritans called heart labor. They said they would heart labor. And, Paul says, I agonize in prayer for you. I labor in prayer for you. And then it says, those who labor in the word and doctrine. There are different types of work. And like all our energy, as I think Ian Bound says on prayer, it says it takes strength to pray. And that if all our physical, emotional, mental strength is spent on our work, and we have not left anything for this work of prayer and this work of the ministry, then it will lack somewhat. And it is really to put a value on those things, that we have both sides of who. And it's just proportioning time. It is able to proportion time and to be able to look at it. So, I just reading, this is, we're finished with this. This is a sneak preview of Foundations, Volume 2. There's a wonderful chapter on temptation, overcoming temptation. And Pastor Carl says in it that we have temptations. The flesh has temptations, and then the soul has temptations. And he's just saying, and the spirit. But he says of the soul, the temptation sometimes is ego, to have bigger, better, stronger, faster. And that he said of Lot, that Lot and Abraham were both quite well. Their flocks had increased greatly, and because there wasn't enough land, they separated. And Lot chose the green pasture lands of near Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot didn't choose the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah and the immorality and all that stuff. He didn't choose that, but he chose the pasture lands that were near that. But what came with that package was that thing that Peter says vexed his righteous soul from day to day. The thing about, that pursuit, it vexed his righteous soul from day to day. Why? Because there's many people want that pasture land. That pasture land attracts a lot of people. And so, Lot wasn't the only one who had his eyes on it. And if we are there, it is a shark tank. It is a place. So we just thank God for this. God gave us work. It's honorable. It's honorable for all. And work with your hands the things that are good, that you may have to give to those that are in need. And that we have food for our belly, we have clothes for our back, we have a roof for our head. But we have a soul, and that we can labor for our soul, and to proportion our time to say, I also got to feed my soul. I also got to labor in the word and doctrine. I also got to labor in prayer. And I also have that heart labor that the Puritans talked about. And if we can manage to proportion both of these somewhat and balance them. And just lastly, just to repeat this, it's like sometimes we can just say, all I need is God. Just give me, I need God. And that I can come apart from this whole creation and saying, my soul longs for thee, O Lord, as the deer pants for the water, so longs my soul. That when there's no answer in all the mess, in all the muddle, and all the morass, you can't get out of the stickiness. We go apart, go alone, go to the closet, shut the door, pray to your Father in secret, and your Father in secret, who is above all, who is holy, separate from all, who is our Father in heaven, and he will reward us openly. So we thank God. Amen. Amen.